Your new life is going to cost you your old one. It'll cost you your comfort zone. It'll cost you your current sense of direction. It'll cost you your current friendships, your current relationships. It will cost you being liked and being understood. But it doesn't matter, because the people that are meant for you are going to meet you on the other side as that new version of yourself. And you're going to build a new comfort zone on the things that actually move you forward. Instead of being liked, you're going to be loved. Instead of being understood, you're going to be seen. All you're going to lose is what was built for a person that you are not anymore. So on the path to becoming this new version of yourself, it becomes really scary because we attach to things that are really familiar to us, even if those things hurt us, even if they don't serve us. We cling onto those things, onto that past life, because it's familiar to us, it's comfortable to us. But we have to understand that until we detach from this old life that we've been living, we are not going to be able to transcend those limitations. The old habits, the destructive habits, all the relationships, the toxic relationships, all of those things that are blocking us from that new life. And we're going to be stuck in the past reality, in this current reality, on a loop. See, I used to think that the number one sought out thing as a human being was success, money, status, but the number one desire that we have as human beings is actually homeostasis. We're like animals. We seek comfort. We want to be comfortable above all else. And when you're operating from a place of comfort, there's not much thought that goes into that, because you've done these habits, you've done this routine over and over and over, to the point where you don't have to think about it too much. You think about going to the restroom or walking into the kitchen. You don't have to think about that because you've done those things so many times. For me, for example, I have a habit of scrolling on YouTube, getting on social media, and there's not much thought that goes into that. Granted, you could say me scrolling on YouTube could be seen as productive if I'm doing research for videos, but oftentimes it's not for that purpose. It's for me just kind of mindlessly doing a habit that I have done so many times. It is just formed, it's taken on a power of its own. So when you are, the thing is, it is impossible for you to get a new version of yourself while you are continuing these old habits, and for you to create a different future for yourself while you are stuck in self-destructive habits. Einstein has that quote that says, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And so with that definition as a working definition, I don't know, as human beings, we tend to forget that. We need to remind ourselves of that. We have such a time detaching from past experiences, past identities, trauma, and it puts a dent in our progress. It blocks that transformation from happening. And we are all afraid of change, but change is inevitable. It is happening all the time, whether we like it or not. But we don't see the small changes because it's happening slowly, but it's inevitable. And I feel like human beings are honestly the only species that go against the natural flow of change and evolution. We see the trees outside, they just grow, they just change. The seasons, they just come and they go. The water, it moves, it flows. Things naturally change in nature. Why aren't we flowing with it? Why don't we just allow and surrender to that process of change? Because we are attached to the past. We are attached to past versions of ourselves, to past relationships, to people. We're attached to so many different things that no longer serve us, and they are stopping us from changing our lives. the last part of this discussion and this like inability of being able to change is you might fear that person that you are becoming or that you're wanting to become might not align with that person that your friends perceive you to be, or the person that you perceive to be, or that society sees. And you are caught up in controlling the narrative that society sees, but it's not helping you. It's stopping you from following your heart. It's stopping you from doing the things you want to do and listening to your intuition and your gut and that higher voice. There is so much unwanted energy coming from past thoughts, and you have to let those beliefs go. You have to let those worries, those anxieties, those fears, you have to let them go if you want to evolve and you want to move forward in life. If you want to enter into this life that is waiting for you on the other side, you have to be able to embrace the change. It's going to take a process. Embracing it, you're going to have to go through your fears and face those fears, but you have to, it ultimately comes down to a decision. What is more important to you? You're staying in your comfort zone or the risk of that change? And you have to ask yourself this seriously. And then once you make that decision, you're able to then act in accordance with that new version of yourself. But you're gonna go through a lot of different feelings because, like I said, those things are going to fall away. That old structure or facade is going to crumble. But that's all that it is a facade. And in my recent past, you know, like, and in a lot of people's recent past that I see around them, you allow people to affect your inner being, to affect the way you're showing up. But again, come at this with that decisive decision that says, hey, I'm not playing around with this life. I only have one life to live. What do I care more about? What these people over here say, who don't have my back at the end of the day? They're not the ones who really truly have my heart and soul. I'm the one that I have to live with at the end of the day, at the end of the night. And if those people don't serve me, if those things, those people, those places, if they are no longer serving me, then it's time to let them go. People, places, habits, they come in seasons, and they may have comforted you in a certain season of life, but if they're not serving that, if they're not there for your growth anymore, it's time to move on. Because I'm tired of not getting the things that are mine. I'm tired of not living in alignment with that version of myself that I know that I can be. And this is a reminder for me, this is a reminder for you to let this conversation be that inspiration, that this is your sign. This is your sign to make that change and to intentionally manifest the life, the people, the things, the love, the energy, the peace that is rightfully yours. It's time. And with all that being said, much love as always. I hope you guys found something from this video and it gives you that inspiration to go forward with confidence rather than fear. And hit me with a like, hit me with a comment, hit me with a subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.